So the financial implications are big. I think the bigger difference for me and the students I'm working with at AU is that I lived in a park for some of my time as a freshman. Like I didn't have to live on campus, but I was 10 miles away from where my parents lived. I didn't have a car, I didn't have a bike, and I didn't feel like walking. And wasn't a public system. So I did sleep in the park probably twice a week.
Wow.
I would sleep at friends' houses. Like I don't encourage that, but it meant I didn't have the living expenses. That's really where the money goes. And then you have to think, am I getting the experience I want? Do I have the freedom that I maybe need from my family to maybe find a little bit more about who I am? What is that worth? So, I have 3 kids now that have gone through college or are in college.
Hmm.
Um, they've lived at home, they've lived on campus, and it's a different experience for sure. Even
Right.
if living at home is less than a mile down the road, it's just a different experience than living on campus. So there's something of value to that. And it's an expensive enterprise, but there's something of value.
Right. For sure. Yeah.
So I also think students that seek out the easiest route, that's where I don't understand the value proposition. Why take the easiest route through the process? There are cheaper avenues for getting a piece of paper. Man, they should be milking every opportunity they have. I think the part that gets missed by most people, this is where my old foginess comes in. You won't realize how little time you have to do the things that you could have done
Right.
once you no longer are a student,
Right.
and you have bills to pay, and you have meals to prepare, and you have you know all of that comes crashing very quickly. And I hope every student is in such a position when they graduate that those are easy transitions. But those easy transitions translate into an 8 hour a day, 5, 6 days a week work schedule.
Right.
And how do you go and say, I'm just going to try a philosophy class now? There are plenty of people that say you could learn all this stuff just by doing a Google search and just reading Wikipedia, or finding your own books and going up a notch from Wikipedia, I guess. But finding the time to do that is
That's the, yeah.
it's so hard. It's so hard. And
Almost impossible. Yeah.
throw a kid in there, throw real responsibility. It's so hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's where I think the real value is. You can never get that time back. And if the investment you're making is in the time to devote to learning in a very specific way, obviously, but
Right.
then that's the real value of an education. And if you're coming in as a student and that's not the way you're approaching it, I think it's difficult to justify.